Hi there. We are fortunate to be joined by Stephan May. Stephan's the Managing Director, M&A at Welch Capital Partners. Stephan, we have known for a long time now that there's a major shift going on in the sort of entrepreneurial space. Baby boomers are starting to exit from their businesses, and these are businesses that they've had for a number of years. They've worked very hard at. Unfortunately, my experience in this is that they have a false sense of how easy it'll be to sell and what their real value is, how much they're going to be able to make from it, and how quickly they'll be able to do that. So I think there's a lot of planning that needs to go in before that for sale sign goes up. And I think you're the perfect guy to tell us what that planning should be. We've got a limited amount of time here, but so with that in mind, what would be your three most important considerations prior to a potential sale?
Yeah, when you play any card games, for example, euchre, what's the first thing you do when the dealer hands you those cards?
So I guess you analyze your cards, you try and put them in order, suit-wise and all the rest, and sort of, I know you're not supposed to, but have a look at your partner and just sort of plan out a winning hand, hopefully.
Yeah, exactly. You can't play the game well if you don't know what you've got in your hand. But unfortunately, we find that too many business owners do exactly that. They wait for an unsolicited offer and then they start playing right away. And so, I think the most important is that you take the time to reflect and to understand the moves that you can make. And so with that in mind, we've got kind of three questions we like to ask business owners before they embark on selling their business. So first, why does selling right now feel right? So just, that question, it goes to kind of the market conditions. So what is it about right now that makes sense, competitors and so on?
And so that'd be the question they would ask after somebody sort of presents them with an offer?
Yeah, well, I mean, ideally you're thinking about this before, but
Okay,
if somebody's come to the offer, and that happens often, right? Somebody comes with an offer and what we often say is, let's time out for a few minutes and let's, really think about, because there's no point in spending energy and going down. And this goes kind of my next 3 points. Sure. If it's not the right buyer, it's not the outcome you're looking for. And so my second question that I want them to ponder on and think about is, what is my ideal outcome? So is that a full sale, partial sale? Maybe it's a management buyout. Maybe they're looking for a financial partner, like a private equity firm. So understanding what is it, the outcome that they're looking for, will drive ultimately whether that is the right buyer or not. And then finally, the one that I think that is overlooked is, what is the ideal outcome for all stakeholders? It's one thing to be the business owner or the shareholders, but there's often spouses and employees and other stakeholders involved in this. And you got to take consideration to, in what the outcome might be for them. And so, really understanding your goals will shape the direction, and the types of buyers that you'll be pursuing.
What are the smart steps to take just to make sure that the business is saleable and that you'll get sort of top price?
Yeah, it's common for business owners to assume that they're ready to sell, but until they go through the process, and we have a hard time articulating, the challenges that lie ahead. But without a doubt, selling a business is one of the hardest things that a business owner is going to go through. And so if you think about kind of in our own home life, we've got a lot of things that we just get accustomed to. That squeaky door, burnt out light, the hole in the wall, the loose railing.
Yeah, don't tell my wife.
Yeah, and in business, we've got those same things that work for us, but doesn't work for a buyer. We become so accustomed to them that we just don't see them as issues. And so, some of the examples for that is no employee contracts. It's a common one. Customer concentration, customer that does maybe 50% of the revenue. We often say, well, we've known these guys forever and they've been really good, and we've always done business for them. And that may work for you, but that might not work for the buyer.
Sure. Maybe be some personal goodwill there.
You got it. Weak reporting, out-of-date corporate records, undocumented process, obsolete inventory. Well, all these things are going to play into your transaction and whether or not you're going to maximize the value. And so, we kind of equate this, going back to the real estate analogy again, but it's like trying to do a home reno while you've got an open house. And, no one would advise you to do something like that. And so often that's the problem when you've got an unsolicited offer and you're trying to make this deal happen, you're also trying to fix, the holes in the paint and at the same time. And so it just doubles the burden, slows down the process, creates friction. And, so we really think that the one thing that an owner can do to really maximize their value is plan and, get their house in order.
Yeah. And I guess the other side of that, since it's mostly happening with baby boomers that are getting ready to ride off into the sunset, it's absolutely imperative that they integrate it with their retirement goals and things like that.
Yeah. I mean, this goes back to the, kind of point number one with knowing your goals. I mean, planning an exit is hard if we're in the dark about what's the value you might get or the goals that you're looking to achieve. And so, though we never know and what a business is going to sell for it until you take it to market and you solicit offers and you create a competitive process, we generally have a range and we can kind of understand what the, or give a sense to the business owner what it might be. And then from there, they need to separate what they need, what they want and what they need as two separate things. And so sometimes, particularly it's a shareholder that or a business owner that all their net worth is tied in their business. If they don't understand what they might need to satisfy their retirement, they hold on, and valuations might be, the valuation expectations might not coincide with what somebody's willing to pay. Yeah. So we suggest that they seek out professional help, talk to an accountant, talk to their tax advisors. Talk to either a business valuator or an M&A advisor, one of the two, though they may have different views on, but to get a range of what the business might be worth. And then finally, they should be talking to a wealth advisor. And and the wealth advisor should be tying all the goals together. So what they anticipate they can get for the business with their own retirement plan. Yeah,
what their cash flow requirements are in retirement. I want to touch a bit on this business valuator versus M&A advisor. I think from my experience, a business valuator sort of is in a model that is what would the business sell to a non-special purpose buyer under a certain sort of circumstances. Whereas I find with an M&A advisor that like automatically they're looking to, okay, well, who's the special purpose buyer? Who's the one that can benefit the most from this? So I think the numbers that pop out of the two views are quite different.
Yeah, absolutely. There can be some discrepancy between the two, kind of like the appraiser versus the real estate agent. The real estate agent is going to be a lot more close to what's going on currently in the market, what they should be doing to stage the business, the types of buyers that are out there, strategic versus financial buyers. Whereas the real estate appraiser is really looking at precedent transaction, kind of things that have happened in the past. They'll be also looking at kind of the cash flow and the ultimate, but there can absolutely be a discrepancy. We find that you will never know what a business is worth unless you do a competitive process that's broad enough where you're getting enough data points to make that decision. And it doesn't have to be hundreds of buyers, but you need enough that you can create at least an idea of what the true value is. Yep. Generally, we might go to one or two buyers, and the offers are vastly different. And so it's important to create that competitive tension and to explore all your options, but all back towards your goal, and what are those goals that you're trying to achieve?
Yeah. Well, listen, thanks for your time, Stephan. There's just so much to consider. Does Welch Capital Partners have a checklist that our clients or listeners or viewers might be able to get their hands on?
Yeah, we have a seller's guide available on our website that people can download and take a look, and that'll cover some of the topics we talked about and other things to consider when selling a business.
Yeah, there's so much we didn't even talk about, the tax implications, estate planning, all of that other stuff. Anyway, I think the big takeaway, and I thank you for this, is look, get prepared. Don't wait till the last minute. start the process early so that you can dictate the agenda. All right, thanks again.